Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be painting bodies today. So I'm going to show you guys an in-depth video of how to paint your body. There's various modes on painting bodies. You can use, liquid mask. You can use regular masking tape. I find that liquid mask is a lot better to apply. Comes off easier, especially when you lay down 2 or 3 good coats of paint. Even 4, good thick coats of paint. And so that way the peeling is a lot easier. If you do a light coat of paint, it's going to be really hard to start peeling up the mask from underneath. So we've got our colors here. So we've got our Tamiya paint. I've got ionized blue, I've got black, and I'm also waiting on one other color to arrive. But as far as the primary colors, I can get these guys down first. The last color to arrive is going to be the lightest color. And usually when you're painting your bodies, you put your darker colors on first, the lighter colors come on last. And so that'll be a good thing because I can mask and then I put my dark colors down and then the light color arrives in a day or so and I'll be able to finish up that. So looking tight and we'll get that done. Speaking about the masks, liquid mask, it's a pretty good brand that I like to go with. Bitty Design. I find that it goes on really good, and I've had good success with painting my other bodies. So these particular colors are my favorite colors, the blue, black, and silver that I like to go with. So we're going to be painting the Senton 3S V3 body. So usually with your bodies, they come clear or they come pre-painted. So this one is clear, especially when you do your own custom paint job, you're going to get a clear body. Sometimes they come pre-cut. And I'll show you guys what I mean. So like here, it's a pre-cut body, meaning that the wheel wells have been cut out and so forth. Sometimes they don't come pre-cut, so this is going to be full and it's going to be a little lip on the outside of the body as well that you're going to have to cut with your hobby knife or your hobby scissors, which makes it a lot easier to cut through. So Armor, with their clear bodies, they come pre-cut already, so they saves you a little bit of effort on having to cut. And so that's a good thing about that. So when you're designing and wanting to paint your cars, you got to have a particular design in mind. And so I suggest drawing on paper first. Maybe looking at some photos of professional car racers and some of your favorite RC car racers and looking at their designs before you kind of come up with your own. I use that for inspiration to have your own creation and something personalized for you. Colors and so forth and schemes of design. And so with that being said, when you're designing, you're going to be drawing on the outside of the body. Why? Because the outside of the body comes with this little protective plastic sheath, which makes it look dull at the moment, but when you peel the sheet back, that's when that has that high gloss appeal and look, and which is really cool with the RC bodies, right? So painting your own body, we're going to be drawing on the outside of the body, so I'll show you here what I mean. So if you can see, I've already outlined the black, I've designed, and I've written in exactly where and what colors go where, right? So this helps you, because when you mask, you're going to be masking from the inside, and so you're going to have to know and see where those lines are to make cuts, so you can peel and paint. So as far as paint is concerned, I like to go with airbrushing and Tamiya paints, and so the airbrush helps you to get really intricate detail going and into the hard to reach spots, and the Tamiya paint is a nice broad paint that can kind of cover a lot more space. But what I've heard about Tamiya paint is that they don't stick very well, they chip, and so you'll be laying down a few coats to protect against that, and you finish your painting job with a light coat, either silver or white on the underneath, right? That helps these colors to stand out or pop, as they say, right? When you have lighter colors, always back them with a silver or white. That'll help bring out the brightness of the color. If you do a dark color, if you do a light color and you back it with with black or something like that, it's going to darken that tone of that color. You won't necessarily get the type of shininess out of that color that you might be looking for, so be mindful of that. Always try to back them with silver or the white. And so I want you guys to hang tuned. I'm going to get set up. I'm going to get the the mask placed on. So with applying mask, it's important that you have an air compressor machine. So I've got an air compressor machine, an HLVP gun, which is a paint spraying gun. And that helps, to evenly distribute the paint, so that way the mask doesn't go on heavily in certain areas. Although it can, right, if you keep a steady hand and you just lay it heavily in one area, it'll definitely clog and clump in one area. But we want to go with even, smooth brush strokes left to right throughout the entire cab of the V3. And you're going to allow that to dry. Once it dries, you go back through and you do that a few times until you get a nice even coat, dark, heavy coat, and then you start cutting and voila. So we'll go through those steps together. One thing about painting and masking, you want to make sure that you're in a well-ventilated area. So if you're doing it at home and so forth, make sure you got the windows open, your porch door open, your terrace door open, that you get some good air flow. Maybe wear a mask to help protect you against the fumes. And you're ready to paint. Be mindful that the air compressors are pretty loud and annoying. So if you got a house, cool. If you're in an apartment building, your neighbors might be bothered for a moment or two. But it'll all be for a good reason at the end of the day. You painting your RC body. So looking forward to that, and I'll see you guys here in a bit as we start the first application of mask. So like I said, we're going to be going with Biddy. I'm going to get the tools out, and I'll see you guys shortly. So just before painting your body, you want to begin to wash the body, right? So you want to go into the sink and wash the underside of the body, because usually from the factory it has this little greasy film on it, or if your fingers are touching. So maybe wear some gloves, or if you're really good and delicate with your hands and you know how to avoid overly touching the underside portion of the body, great. But you'll use some regular dish soap and use the soft side of the sponge. You don't want to use the rough side. That'll leave marks and scrapes, and it'll just make it look nasty and scarred underneath. And so just a soft little washing of the interior of the body will help to rid your body of the oils that come from the factory, and that will allow the paint to stick better. And so that'll be step one. So we're going to be painting on my terrace today. So this is my mini HVLP gun. So this is the spray gun that we're going to be using to apply the mask on. So make sure that all the parts are screwed in good and tight. We'll apply the mask inside, and I'll hook up the air compressor here in a moment. Here goes the air pump, air compressor. And then I've got my mini HPV gun hooked right up to it. So we're going to get this guy filled up with some Biddy mask. Bring the car out, and we're going to start spraying it down. Lovely New York City. Pretty cloudy day, but off in the back here, you can usually see the Empire State Building, the Vanderbilt Towers, and such like that. Yeah, the Empire State Building is right there, but it's pretty cloudy, so you can't see the peaks of the buildings. All right, let's get that Biddy mask applied. Throw some right in. Cover that up. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. Let's get the vehicle out here. All right, so like I said, here's the body. Let's reposition a bit, right about this way. So here's the body. Like I said, we've already got it drawn out, the lines and such, so we're just gonna get a nice even coat of paint sprayed on. So they have these tools, that suction cups that go on the back side of the body that enable you to hold without having to grip. I don't have that, so. There's a nice pink coating, so we're going to allow this to dry for some time. Come back in Do the same thing again. So we're back. It's been a while. We had to let this dry, but these are 2 good thick coats of Biddy Mask. And so the good thing about Biddy Mask is it dries pink. So when we start cutting on the underside of it, we can still see our lines from our design that's drawn on the top side. Remember, when you're drawing your designs, get a Sharpie, nice pointed tip Sharpie, and make your cut, make your lines, and that way the cuts on the neat side will be transparent and you can see through, right? So here's the finished product. This is nice and dry. Show you guys, feels nice little coat. So we're gonna start cutting out the portions that I'm gonna be painting black. So that will be this back portion here, a little bit here on the side, this line here, down to here, and this whole window section, top section, and opposite side. So let's get that done. So with our nice sharp edge hobby knife or straight blade razor, you can use one of these guys, retractables. This one's a little bit dull, I believe. So like I said, we're going to start with the back portion first. So quick little lines to be cut to get out the portion that I'm going to be painting black. Now remember, you don't want to be pressing so hard that into the Lexan body that you actually create a cut. Then it'll be scoring your body, and then that way, anytime it breaks, like a hit can force a nice little break in the plastic. So something gentle and nice. That's why you need like a really good, sharp hobby knife. What we're going to do next is we're going to peel. I'm going to show you guys the peel, and then I'll finish off and continue the rest of the body or the black pieces, and then I'll rejoin you guys. But so usually if you had a pair of tweezers, it'd be better. So I use the back edge of the blade because it's not the sharp edge. And because it's so nice and thick, you'll see that how easy it is to peel. So this stuff just starts coming off. So this takes a little time, and no rushing about peeling off your paints, off the mask. Make sure you do a good job getting off all the mask, so you gotta take your time with that. So here's a portion of it. I just did a small portion so you show you guys how it's supposed to look when you start peeling out, the mask and such. So we're gonna do the other side of it. So let's get here, find our line. Now we get to paint. We're going to be using our regular black airbrush Pro-Line paint. Shake up your Pro-Line paints really good. They come with that little bearing in there, ball. Help you unsettle all that settled paint at the bottom of the tube. And another good thing about this paint is that it comes pre-thinned, so you don't have to thin the paint. As much or at all, unless you'd like to. But when you're doing airbrush work, make sure you also have a towel so that way you can kind of like check. So we know we're getting some colors in. We're getting our color out. So we know that it's working. So next up, we're going to start painting the areas black. So I'm going to start down here and then work my way over here. So we're going with 2 coats. Just finished the second coat. We'll let that dry for a few moments, 15 minutes or so. Just set it aside in a nice ventilated area. You can put a fan on it if you got. It'll help speed up the drying process. But yeah, so next up, after this dries, we'll come back in and we'll score out the second pattern and apply the color. So the next color we're gonna be applying is gonna be, like I told you, the Tamiya paint. I like to mix the airbrushing with the spray. So they don't technically have this particular color, so that's why I gotta go with a Tamiya spray color. I was looking for it in the airbrush form, and it just didn't have quite the same shine that this particular color has. This is PS49, a beautiful color. It's called sky blue, but ionized sky blue. It gives it that metallic, shiny look. I love it. So if you like it, use it with your cars and your colors. Be sure to tag me and give me some credit. Part 2, more peeling. So now that the black areas have dried, we're going to be peeling the areas for our second color. Voila. So the second portion is peeled. You can see how clear it's coming out. That's going to be our ionized blue portion. So I'm going to get that up on both sides. Now I hope I've got enough paint in this can here. Spraying with the can is different than with the airbrush. Here you want to do light coats. Light coats, don't get heavily spotted coats on your paint. So you'll go over once or twice very lightly, allow it to dry, because when you come back over with the second coat, that it sticks better to the plastic. If you try to lay down a heavy coat right away, it'll disrupt the way the paint adheres to the Lexan body. So nice little light coats, left to right strokes or right to left strokes. Spray on, take it off. Spray on, take it off lightly. So we're going to start along the sides first. Remember, like I said, I might need 2 cans, so I might have to pause and order another can of this. I hope not. Love the smell of this stuff. Although I know it's toxic. Alright, so that's a light coat. I'm gonna let this stuff materialize. Oh, it's coming to life. It's coming to life. So here's where we are. We've been laying down coats and coats and coats, and so the blues really come in. So for that blue to really stick out. So our next color will be aluminum. So that means we'll be moving that whole front piece and hitting up the sides with the aluminum and this back piece. Hey, so next up we got aluminum to add, right? So just like in all of our other steps, we're gonna peel first, apply color second, right? Let's do a test first. We have color coming out, so. So this is the finished product. I went a few coats, you know, on the front and the back as well to really bring out that silver, that aluminum color. I'm going to back this with 1 full coat of either silver or white. I'm going to see what I have. And I've also still got to start venting this body, right? Especially back here. I'm going to be making some cuts, and so I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, since the paint is done, backing is done, before we unleash the plastic, we're going to be venting the car. So it's got a couple places where you can put some vents. That's what I plan to do to help fight against all of the wind resistance. So we're going to be venting these 4 holes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 or 10 in the back as well. So. Voila, now we've got back vents too. A lot of airflow coming through. And so we're back, all finished, and so here's our fully revised paint job, custom paint job by yours truly. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. If you made it this far in the video, you guys rock. But we've made all of our cuts and revisions, so I usually like to cut out the windows to allow for more passage of wind and so forth. We cut out this front piece here, the vents as well. Really happy about how the paint came out. I cut out the back portion just to make it look like a real short course truck. Because when you look at these real short course trucks, they got this part of the cab taken out as well as the side windows. So I might do that, I might not. We'll see. But in the meantime, very happy with how it came out. Paint is shining good. So I want to thank you guys making it this far in the video. Remember to smash the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you'll be up to date on the next videos that I'll be dropping. Remember, bash hard, bash often, most importantly, bash safely. And until next time.